I've been asked to raise this whole issue about collusion that has come to the forefront. Yes, there was collusion, but not the way that has been portrayed by the Republican propaganda machine. Let's look at a few facts here. First off, I challenge Anne Kilwater, or whatever you want to call her, or anyone, to a public debate on the issue of collusion. Not on hearsay, not on myth, but on facts. Now let's start talking about a few facts in South Amagh. They talk about 100 murders carried out by this gang. Now, there seems to be the link anymore to that they want to. In the South Amagh area, there was 26 murders carried out by Loyalist paramilitaries. Now, out of that 26, a number of them were not innocent Roman Catholics. A number of them were IRA men. So I'm not even going to debate that, because I've made it quite clear where I stand when it comes to taking out IRA men. In the past, well, this so-called conflict went on, there wasn't enough of them taken out. But here's the situation. 46 Roman Catholics was killed in South Amagh by the IRA. And now we have the Pat Finucane and Anne Kilwater and them writing these stories about collusion. Get a grip. You want the debate, we'll give it to you. We'll do it in public. And it'll not be on hearsay, it'll be on facts. And here's a few facts for you. John Martin Ravey came to my home when I was 11 years of age, and I was standing with my mother, and so was some of the other of the family. Him and another brother and another individual told my mother if she didn't go on the rent and rate strike, they would burn us out. They would burn us out. She hit him out over the head with a brush, broke the brush out over the top of his head, and beat him with a shaft out onto the road. That's John Martin Ravey. The brother of that man was also done with mass tax evasion and fraud. The same individual, the day of my father's shooting, the same man's brother's car was seen letting two individuals out who was believed to carried out the shooting of my father. Whenever the HET spoke to him, he admitted his car was on the road, but he couldn't remember if he was driving it or not. Or John Martin's brother-in-law, one of them, was caught with a weapon that was used in the King's Mill massacre. The other brother-in-law travelled on the bus, worked in the same factory, and got off the bus, but of course he wasn't there that day of the shooting, but he was caught a number of weeks later with the weapon used in the King's Mill massacre. Another man, McParland, who tried to ambush the army and was shot and dropped a weapon that was used in King's Mill, was driven away from that shooting by the same individual within that family. So they want to start talking about facts. We'll put facts onto the road. Mr. Herty and his brothers, mass murderers, have never been arrested and charged in the north of the border, although they've been wanted. Who do they hang about with? The McParlands. Who does the McParlands hang about with? The Quinns. Who's the Quinns related to? The Raveys. The other thing, this individual who has the cheek to stand up and talk about collusion, asked him what he did when he was doing the building contracts in the Shankill Road in Belfast, and how he come to an arrangement with Jimmy Craig, the bagman of the UDA at that time. Their main source of information is an individual called John Weir. I never met John Weir in my life until about 12, 13 years ago. And this man was introduced to me. The first thing he said to me was, would you be interested in buying a container load of guns? The first thing I did was contact the police. That is the calibre of witnesses that these people are going by. The man is a lunatic, but he seems to be a good enough lunatic to justify what they're trying to do to the UDR and the RUC. It's an utter and total disgrace that rubbish like this has been put on. And now the UDR men and the policemen are saying to me, Willie, they want facts, we'll give them facts. We will come out and we will tell them about the customs officer who is related to John Gerard Hughes, who was passing on information. And instead of her getting sacked out of customs, they promoted her. Promoted her. Now, is that collusion? Well, I asked you to answer that question. Then we'll go on to the Finucane case. We have the Finucanes. This is a family that is well known to be steeped in republicanism. And a matter of fact, a number of the family have been arrested and convicted of different terrorist offences. I believe one of them was the use of an M60 machine gun. They went on the run, they've done time, they've done murder. The head of the IRA in the south of Ireland, while he was working for the Gardaí intelligence, passed on information that Pat Finucane helped turn the finances of the IRA around at a meeting where they met in above a pub in the south of Ireland. The Finucane Center, if they want inquiries, let's have them. But no more of this one-sided crap about collusion. Because I will ask you this question. Where is all the dead IRA men? Where are they lying on the roads and in the fields? That we're led to believe there's so much collusion going on that nothing could have been done unless the UDR and the police and the army were involved in loyalist paramilitaries. I'll finish off with this. Let's put all this crap to the side. Let's have the public debate in the open about collusion. And let's put the facts and figures on the table. And let's put the evidence on the table. And let's see who walks away from the table first. Because I can tell you this. If there had been the collusion, if our members of the UDR and the RUC had decided to take the IRA out, there would be no IRA today, because they would be still digging them up out of their graves where they've been put. And I make no apology for saying that. I'm not talking about ordinary Celtic people here. I'm talking about Republicans. Because if they hadn't went out and joined the UDR and the RUC and protected you, the prods would have took you apart. They took you apart as it was. But just imagine what would have happened if even 10% of the UDR men had joined and 10% of the police had joined loyalist paramilitaries. You don't want to go down that road.